There's a third segment in the Paul Harris Fellowship Award, and I'll pass over to Raj to do another segment.
Thank you, Past President Krishna. All protocol observed. Rotary. Rotary stands for R is for recognition, O is for opportunities to serve, T is for timelessness of service, A is for attitude, R is for reward, and Y is yes I can, and yes we could do it. I'm in charge of polio eradication for the past 14 years in the district, which constitutes some 14 countries. And so many people still do not know what polio is all about. The key fact about polio or poliomyelitis is that it mainly affects children under the age of 5 years. 1 in 200 infections leads to irreversible paralysis. Among those paralyzed, 5 to 10% die when their muscles, their breathing muscles, become immobilized. Polio cases have decreased by over 99% since 1988, from an estimated 350 cases, then to 650 cases in 2011. The reduction is a result of the global effort to eradicate this dreaded disease. In 2012, only 3 countries, Afghanistan, Nigeria, and Pakistan, remain polio endemic, down from more than 125 countries in 1988. As long as a single child remains infected, children all over the countries are at risk contracting polio. Failure to eradicate polio from these remaining strongholds could result in as many as 200,000 new cases every year within 10 years all over the world. There is no cure for polio, absolutely no cure. It can be only prevented with polio vaccine given multiple times can protect a child. The immunization efforts have reduced the number of polio cases globally by 99%, saving some more than 10 million children from paralysis. Since 2008, more than 20 countries have experienced outbreaks of polio imported from endemic countries, some of them multiple times. Efforts to reach unvaccinated children are often hampered by security risks, geographical and cultural barriers. Polio eradication efforts stumble again after murders of 5 women volunteers in Pakistan, 2 persons in Nigeria, and another 2 persons in Pakistan. It is the belief in the Muslim countries or states that the Americans want to sterilize them, which is far from the truth. Did the vaccine sterilize the rest of the world? The answer is no. India, long considered the most difficult place to end polio, was declared polio-free in February 2012. I was in India in 2004, and we did something that is beyond anyone's imagination, is that we were able to immunize in 1 day, 170 million children in 1 day. We have created history. Polio eradication shifts into emergency mode. Although the number of polio cases was lower in the first 4 months of this year than during the same period in any other year, it is now at the tipping point between success and failure. We are in emergency mode to tip it towards success, working faster and better, focusing on the areas where children are most vulnerable. We know that polio can be eradicated, and our success in India proves it. It is now a question of politics and social will. Do we choose to deliver a polio-free world to future generations, or do we choose to allow 55 cases this year turn into 200,000 children paralyzed for life every year. This is there's a fund shortage that has forced the global polio eradication effort to cancel or scale back critical vaccination in 4 high-risk countries. This leaves more children vulnerable to contracting disease and exposing polio-free countries to the rest of re-emergence. All our efforts are at risk until all children are fully immunized against polio, and that means fully funding the global eradication effort and reaching the children we have not reached. We have come so far in the battle against this crippling disease, we can make history or later be condemned by history for failing. Full implementation of the emergency plans is currently hindered by critical funding gap of nearly $1 billion in 2013. Polio eradication has now shifted to now end in 2018. We are appealing to all clubs and to all governments to request a contribution from their respective governments. It is in the interest of the world that we get everyone on board. Please remember that sickness is beyond all of us. We cannot tell who is next. We urgently need your support, and let us talk the talk and walk the walk. Let us in District 7030 raise the red flag against polio by making a significant contribution to polio eradication by foregoing some luxury items. And that is when I told the gathering in Grenada at the district conference, some 300 to 400 persons, I give up something luxurious to make sure that the children of the world are safe. That is, I had planned to purchase a Mercedes-Benz 350 ML, and I walked in at Batu's, and then something hit me and said, Raj, why are you doing this? Why not contribute the monies towards polio instead? And that is exactly what I did. I then challenged everyone there that I am contributing $25,000 US towards polio on condition that it has been matched. And I was totally surprised when it reached $25,000 US faster than I could even think. And I virtually came to tears. And my dear friends, as the district governor will tell you, I was able to raise $100,000 US in less than 8 minutes for polio eradication. We should all feel proud to tell the children of the world that we played an important part of getting rid of this tenacious disease. My dear friends, the onus is on us. The only way to save the children of the world is to make sure that this dreaded tenacious disease comes to an end. And this could only be done with our effort, with your contribution. And in closing, the measurement of life, after all, is not based on its duration, but its donation to the community and to humanity. Thank you, and God bless. And I wish to take this opportunity at this point in time to call on my dear friend and Minister of Food Production, Senator Devant Maharaj, and I would like to pin on your lapel a Paul Harris Fellow, which is a contribution of $1,000 US towards polio eradication. This will now be a surprise to two persons. That is, I also have two other pins here that I would like to pin on two persons who have made significant contribution in the field of education. And I don't have to go back into it because I'm sure that you all listened attentively and heard what past President Krishna had to say about Professor Clement Sankar. So I take great honor and privilege in pinning you with this Paul Harris Fellow, also Professor Sankar. So you see it's a double whammy for you. You're honorary Rotarian and now you are Paul Harris Fellow. The other person is a friend of mine for the last 30-something years, a person who has supported me through Rotary, through Blacktown and Briar, through thick and thin, a person who was awarded the Medal of Merit Gold in the year 2000, who was also Director of School Supervision and is now a member of the Accreditation Board, none other than my dear friend, Mr. Hatim Gartner. So, thank you, and I'm looking forward to contributions towards polio eradication. I have one more to do, and that is your son. Could you kindly come forward, please? This was supposed to have been done by your daddy, but he insists that I do it. So first, I would like to present you